not much really changed, so I didn't do one for 2018, so I'm just going to do one for 2019 and break it down a little bit more for you. What's going on? It's Matt. I'm standing in my garage, and in 2017 I did a rod and reel arsenal, and I didn't do one for 2018, and it's 2019 and not much has changed, to be honest with you, but I do want to make this video. I want to make it as concise and as detailed as possible, and I'll be able to knock out decent chunks of this video because I use primarily all the same gear, just different lengths and actions for each rod. There obviously is one new reel, and I only throw one brand. And I want to state something again for the record. I'm not sponsored by 13. I don't have a partnership with them. I just happen to like the rod and reels that they put out. I think they're quality stuff. So that being said, I'm just going to jump right into this. And just to kind of state right off the bat, every rod that I own is in their Omen Gen 2 line. Now, I'm not 100% sure what's going on with this particular line. The reason why I say that is because they are on sale on Tackle Warehouse right now. I don't know if these are being replaced with a different lineup, but I hope they don't, because the reason why I like these rods so much is because they're full cork handles. And the cork has lasted very, very well. And I just like the way that a full cork rod is. I just think it gives me a better, I don't know, better sensitivity, better hand placement, or rather the ability to put my hands wherever I want on the rod. So in this particular setup right here, this is the Concept A3, and this is the 7.6 moderate action casting rod. This is lined up with 17-pound fluoro, and this is really for small to medium-sized swim baits, deep cranking. The A3 is the bigger version of the Concept A, and you can really huck this thing a mile, to be honest with you. A lot of people will tell you that the heavier the line for the deep diving crankbaits specifically, when it comes to fluoro, won't get it down to that specific level. But at the end of the day, I really don't have that much of an issue with it. So moderate action on this rod, and for all of the Gen 2 models, the cranking sticks have the cork right here. That's kind of really how you can tell right off the bat. Up next in the lineup, this little hot number. This is an Omen Gen 2. I will say it every single time. This is in a 7-to-1. This is a medium heavy, and this is the Inception Sport Z. The zero bearings. I made a review on this reel probably a couple weeks ago, maybe not even that long ago, but I said that I had problems with it dialing in, and I realized what it was. It was me. It wasn't the fact that I had a problem dialing it in. You just don't have to cast this thing very hard. The zero bearings really get the baits out there with very, very minimal effort. So this is what I would call my Senko setup. This is also kind of my Texas rig setup, and like light jig heads, like we're talking like 1/4 ounce jig heads. It's got 12-pound fluoro. All the fluorocarbon is Seagar in Vizex. So that is rod number 2. The next rod up is what I would say is my light punching and jig rod. This is a 7-to-3 Omen Gen 2 Concept A, 8-to-1 gear ratio. Just to be clear, the Senko setup and the Texas rig setup, the Inception Sport, is a 7-to-3, and the A3 is a 6-to-3. So like this rod for light punching, right now I have a creature bait on with probably about a 1/2 ounce, and this has 15-pound fluoro on it. I put the red on it just so I can identify it really easily. This is also my jig rod. Next up is one of my cranking setups. This is a 7-foot moderate action cranking. You can tell it's cranking because it has the cork right here. This is the 6 speed of a reel for the Concept A, has 12-pound fluoro on it. I have 2 of these sticks that I take out on the kayak. They are primarily for baits that have treble hooks and that are moving baits. So this one actually has a chatterbait on it right now. And I'm going to tell you real quickly, you know, I had a Shimano rod and reel setup and the rod broke. And that was supposed to be my single hook moving baits, meaning small swim baits. We're talking about like Kayaks with a jig head on it, and chatterbaits and spinnerbaits. Well, when that broke, I kind of just went back to what I was doing before, and I used one of my cranking sticks that I had been doing before. I just put another single hook bait on it. So this particular rod and reel has been with me for quite some time. The next rod and reel is the same exact setup as before. Gen 2 Omen, 7-foot, 12-pound Seaguar, and a 6 Concept A on it. Has crankbait on it though right now. I don't need to show it to you, it's the same exact thing. This next one, obviously, Omen Gen 2. This is a 7'1" heavy. This is my frog stick. Right now it has 50-pound Power Pro on it, and the gear ratio on this particular reel is a 7-to-1. This will also throw my whopper ploppers and any really top water bait. It's lined straight with braid all the way through the reel. I've had this one for a long time as well. It was in the last video. In fact, all of these rods were in the last video. I just kind of wanted to do an update. And last, but certainly not least, this is a 7-1 spinning setup, Omen Gen 2, 1.3 Credex. It has 15-pound Power Pro on it and a 12-pound Seaguar Fluoro leader. This is my drop shot stick. I have one spinning setup simply for the fact that I only use it for a drop shot. So, like I said, not much has really changed in my arsenal, and you know, like I said earlier, I'm not sponsored by these guys. I like the way that the action of the rods are. Now, this is really because of the way that I fish. And the way that I fish is I'm not a heavy hook setter. It's probably the best way to say it. I tend to lean into fish a little bit more, or reel down into fish. That's kind of why that jig rod and that light punching setup has got an 8-to-1 gear ratio on it. I'm not going to jack the fish out of the water. It's just not the way that I fish. Have I lost fish because I don't set the hook hard enough? Yeah, I'd probably say that I would. I wanted to deviate from the 13 lineup, and I made an attempt with that with the Shimano, the SLX rod and reel. The SLX reel, if you're watching this and you're on the market, it is for sale. Reach out to me at yankeetankeroutdoors@gmail, and I'll talk to you about a price. I will ship. It's in a 6-to-3 gear ratio, and it's a left-hand retrieve. You know, when I first did the review on, and I'm looking at the rod right now that's broken in the corner. When I first did the review on it, I didn't like the way that the rod felt in my hands. And I think it's just because I've become accustomed to the Gen 2 Omens. Now, I mentioned earlier too, is that I'm not sure if they're getting rid of this lineup, because all of these lineups are on sale right now on Tackle Warehouse. I don't know if they're being replaced or whatever it may be, but I hope not, because I don't think 13 makes any other full cork handle rods in their arsenal. So this is what I'm packing for 2019. Now, I will be taking 6 rods out on the kayak, so I will definitely always have the punch setup, which is the 8-to-1 gear ratio. I will always have my Cinco or Texas rig setup. I will always have 2 cranking sticks, so that's 4. And then I always have a top water rod. And then, you know, also have this. So that's 6 rods. The black pack holds 3. I have 2 rocket launchers on the side. Scotty, they're not called rocket launchers, but Scotty rod mounts. And then I bought a rocket launcher from Yak Attack that I'll put on there too as well. I might buy another one of those and take out 7 rods, but I really don't think I need to. This kind of covers all my bases. All line, I'll say it again, is in Vizex. I happen to like that line. I've never had an issue with it. I will say one thing, do not buy it off of Amazon. I bought a batch off of Amazon, and I don't think it was real because I had issues with that. So pay the little bit extra money, buy it off a tackle warehouse, or go to your local tackle shop. Thanks for watching these things. I will hopefully be out on the water soon. I wanted this video to be an on the water video, but I have family in town, and you know how family goes. Talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye.